From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, happy Tuesday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Let's get you right into it. Take a look at our weather headlines. It's going to be sunny and warm through the middle of the week, and that's mainly going to be for the valley. We're starting to see more clouds, at least in the afternoon, begin to develop for many of the higher elevations, and even a chance for some showers in some areas here. Now, it is going to be cool and unsettled in the mountains starting tomorrow overall and Thursday, and then that will continue most likely through a good portion of the weekend. Now, we are also looking at a drop in those temperatures across the board, including the valley here, and quite a decent drop in those temperatures as we get toward the end of the week. Now, we're looking at shower and thunderstorm chances, especially in the mountains here, to continue through the weekend. But the thing is, we're also looking at some showers possibly in the valley by the end of the week. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a bit. But here is your Krueger's Quickcast for your Tuesday, April 22nd. Now we're starting off with yet another frost advisory for Trinity County. A lot of those low-lying areas, a lot of the mountain valleys is sheltered by those winds, could see some of those temperatures drop below freezing for a brief period of time. That could damage some of those sensitive plants and vegetation. All right, so out the door here for this morning, plenty of sunshine. Now the north coast is going to see some clouds. Now we're looking at some fog, especially around Eureka, Humboldt Bay, for example. That should burn off here as we do go through the morning hours and midday. Now really, when you look at the satellite image, it's just kind of a jumbled mess of clouds. But essentially what we do have here is a ridge of high pressure. Kind of hard to notice, kind of hard to see, but there is a ridge of high pressure over the eastern Pacific. The flow around that ridge is still allowing for some energy to kind of pass through Northern California, and that's why as early as this evening and tonight, we could see a chance for showers in some areas. We'll take a closer look at that here now. You can see some of the fog that we do have this morning around Humboldt Bay. By midday, that clears out. Beautiful sunny skies across the board. This is what I was talking about. See how those afternoon clouds are developing in the mountains. So if you're in the valley, you're looking north, west, or east, and most likely even to the east here, you're seeing those towering cumulus clouds. We may see a shower develop here in northeastern parts of Lassen County this afternoon. Then we go into 6 o'clock this evening. Most of that shifts to the east. We still have some of the clouds. There could be a stray sprinkle in Modoc County. Now, as we go into tonight, we're starting to see some activity begin to develop here. And as we get closer to the midnight hour tonight into early tomorrow morning, some of those showers making their way into northeastern Shasta County, northern Lassen, into Modoc County, and even into eastern Siskiyou County as well. And then that is going to be the beginning of it all, because by Wednesday, that's when all of the mountains will see a chance for some showers entering the picture here. So the winds, too, a little bit on the gusty side here this morning, even for parts of the valley. But by the midday, they start to die down, but still pretty gusty along the coast. And then by 5 o'clock this afternoon, a little breezy, actually more of a southerly flow of winds for the valley later this afternoon, with those west winds for the eastern mountains up to about 20 miles per hour, and still 20 to 30 mile an hour north winds here for the coast. And then by tomorrow morning, a little breezy, more of that north wind kind of for the valley. It looks like it's not going to be quite as strong here for the coast or even in the eastern mountains. All right, so for today, temperatures much like yesterday, low 80s for many of us in the valley. We're talking 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and looks like those upper 50s to even right around 60 here for the coast. Trinidad about 60. So here's your 7-day forecast for the valley. You've got plenty of sunshine today and tomorrow. Temperatures still in the low 80s even through Wednesday. Now by Thursday, we're calling partly cloudy skies, but still dry. And there's that chance for showers possibly for Friday, Saturday. And we can't rule out a stray thunderstorm for parts of the valley as well. I will say this, Friday, the best chances do look to be around Redding and Red Bluff, slimmer chances in Chico. And then I think across the board Saturday, there is that chance here for the valley. And then we dry things out and start to warm back up. Look at the temperatures by Friday, Saturday. You're in the mid 60s for your daytime highs. Your 7-day forecast for the coast, dry through Wednesday, but by by the time we get into Wednesday for Trinity County, you've got that chance for showers off and on through Saturday, but in Trinity County, maybe even a chance coming in there on Sunday as well. And for the mountains, the north and east, well, this is what we're looking at here. Starting as early as tomorrow, you are seeing everyone seeing that chance for isolated showers off and on all the way through this weekend, drying out by Monday. And there you can see in Alturas later on this evening and tonight, maybe a chance for some of those showers kicking in. All right, that is your Krueger's Quickcast. There's a 24-hour streaming channel you have access to on all of the available platforms for Weather NorCal. The website, weathernorcal.com, the free Weather NorCal app, and you can also watch it on your big screen TV and Fire TV, Roku, and anywhere YouTube is available, whether it's your computer, your phone, or even your smart TV. Just search for Weather NorCal in those app stores or search for Weather NorCal for the YouTube channel, and you will be good to go. So again, we're looking at really not a very prominent, or should I say a defined ridge of high pressure based on the satellite image here, but it is there. We do have this ridge, kind of this broad ridge kind of right here, right? But then what we're seeing is we're getting more of a troughing pattern over here. We are within that area where the trough is, kind of between the ridge and that trough, and that's going to allow for more clouds to move in and even chances for some of those showers as well. But a lot of what we're seeing here, especially in the mountains over the next several days, will be more in the way of convective activity. And what that means is the daytime heating of the day allows us to see some of that activity develop here. But this morning, some fog kind of lingering for the north coast. It clears out by midday, but then by the afternoon we start to see those clouds begin to return again. Now again, we're talking about this afternoon, maybe some shower activity out towards northeastern Lassen County, and there are those afternoon clouds developing in the higher elevations, but not in the valley. By this afternoon and evening, all right, maybe a few clouds coming in for part of the valley, but most of it will be in the mountains. You are seeing that fog along the coast, and really not a lot of rainfall for us today, but again, it's mainly off towards the north and east. Now by midnight tonight, we are seeing a disturbance pass through. So what I'm calling for is this. Basically this area right here, and then of course northeastward, all have that chance for a shower or a thunderstorm. So this would include places like Bernie, Shingletown, you might be pushing it here, but Chester, not out of the question. Places like Alturas, Mount Shasta, I think it'll be mainly east of Mount Shasta here for tonight, but we can't rule out. You can see it just kind of barely develops east of I-5 there. But there's 3 a.m. around Bernie. You're seeing eastern Siskiyou into Modoc County, northern Lassen County. That continues into the early morning hours. Now, this is just kind of a precursor of things to come, because by the afternoon on Wednesday, we start to see some more development here. Once again, we are seeing that fog along the coast, by the way. There you can see mainly to the east, we're seeing most of the showers begin to develop here. This is around Lassen Volcanic National Park, but you can see it off to the east there, and even around Mount Shasta City, seeing some showers developing here. And then as we go through the afternoon, now we're starting to see mainly east of Highway 3 in Trinity County, seeing that chance for some of those showers, and even maybe even a chance for a few thunderstorms to the north, to the east. So this is what I was talking about. By Wednesday, I think most of us in the mountains will see at the very least a chance for a shower or thunderstorm for your Wednesday, but the valley most likely remaining dry. Now this is showing some of those kind of showers trying to spill over into parts of the valley here for Wednesday afternoon. Not entirely out of the question, but I'm anticipating it will be dry for all of us in the valley for Wednesday. By Wednesday night, you can see it starts to kind of dry out again. And then we go into Thursday. Look at the fog, by the way, along the coast. It's really kind of filtering into some of those inland areas as well. Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Look at this. We're actually seeing the potential for some fog here down to the south, especially for Glenn and Butte counties. Northward, it doesn't look like we're going to see quite as much fog, but we'll have to watch for that. And then by midday Thursday, it's happening once again. You're seeing those afternoon clouds developing in the mountains. We still have that fog along the coast. Even some of those clouds developing for parts of the valley as well. But I don't anticipate there to be any activity here for the valley. This, I think, is a fairly decent representation of some of the showers we may see Thursday afternoon, but look at this. As we go into Friday, we've got to watch the next system. Here is the next storm system approaching as we go into Friday morning, 8 a.m. Here's the main cold front right here. We're still seeing a few showers, that is, in the morning off to the north of the valley for the most part. Then that cold front pushes through. By midday, we may see some showers as early as midday for parts of the valley, but as you can see, it's mainly for the coast and many of the higher elevations as well. Then we go through the afternoon, that cold front pushes through. Yes, that's when we start to see some of those showers possibly for everyone in the valley, the coast, and the mountains as well. And by the way, we're seeing some snow popping up on the map here, but that's mainly above 6,000-7,000 feet before you start seeing that snow. So you can see that Friday system kind of pushing on through, but then we do expect to see maybe a continued chance for some of those showers possibly on Saturday as well across the board for the valley, for the mountains, for the coast. And then by Sunday, this model's not picking up on it, but the European forecast model still has a chance for some mountain showers here on Sunday. Not a lot, but there still is that slight chance in there for Sunday. And then we go into Monday, Tuesday of next week. High pressure begins to build back in. We're looking at mainly sunny skies and drier conditions, and it's warming back up as we go into next week as well. By the way, you know, as we go into Thursday, Friday, we're going to see about a 10 to even 15 degree drop from what we're seeing now. Now, as we mentioned, those winds may be a little breezy at times here for this morning. There you can see as we go into the afternoon today, still it's mainly along the coast. We're seeing some of the strongest winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour. More of that west wind off in the eastern mountains up to about 20 miles per hour. Fairly calm, but still more of a southerly flow of winds here for the valley. By tomorrow morning, not as bad, but still a little gusty out towards Crescent City. Maybe a little bit of a breeze for the north end of the valley, but overall not very strong winds. And then by Wednesday afternoon, once again, more of that southerly flow of winds, 15 to 20, even a little over 20 miles per hour for the valley. A little breezy here for the coast and for parts of the higher elevations. But if what we're really noticing with this trend is we're just not seeing a very big wind event for all of Northern California, but for some areas, you will see some gusty winds at times. Now, looking at the temperature outlook, we're actually more in that near normal category. And when we look at the 10-day trend for Redding, you'll see we're actually more above that. But when you kind of average it out here, you can see we're above normal. There's that big dip in the temperatures, by the way. I mean, we're talking close to an even 20 degree drop here from today into Friday. So that's one of the reasons and kind of that sign of that potential for showers and maybe even some thunderstorms that we could see on Friday, Saturday for the valley. But then we ramp right back up. But we're still right around normal on Sunday and then above normal. Look at that. We are getting in the upper 80s by Thursday of next week. Could this be that first sign of the potential of some 90 degree temperatures? At this point, I'm not really seeing it a whole lot, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it for you. Wetter conditions off to our east. We're kind of closer to that near normal, but overall, we're not expecting a lot of that rainfall. Taking a look at those lake levels, well, what we're looking at here is a continued increase even for Trinity Lake. Over the last several days, Trinity Lake has seen a slight decrease. Now we're back into that increase here. Once again, a lot of what we're seeing here is all thanks to that snow melt that we are getting from that great snowpack that we have. A quick look at the drought monitor here. You'll see it's mainly in central and southern California that we are anywhere from what's known as dry all the way up to extreme drought. And there are parts of the southern United States that are within that extreme to even exceptional drought, the highest category. Now, the good news is there are no red flag warnings, fire weather watches across the nation. You may recall over the last several weeks, I've just been kind of reminding you that the fire season is not too far from Northern California, but we were looking at a lot of fire danger in the central United States. Not the case today, but again, just that friendly reminder. Brush, making sure that you got that cleared out, defensible space. If you can't do it yourself, hire someone to do it because it's all about your safety and your neighbors' safety. We've got to remember our neighbors are people we've got to protect as well. All right, so there you can see your wave heights going into today. They're fairly high. They will start to decrease on Wednesday, but not by a lot. There still is that small crotch advisory today, and that is expected to extend into your Wednesday as well. Your winds today out of the north at 20 to 25 knots. Waves from the northwest at 10 feet at about 10 seconds. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures mid to upper 70s, and it's starting tomorrow. Off and on chances for showers, and that'll continue most likely through Saturday, but that could linger into Sunday as well. 60 degrees out towards Fortuna, 70 in Garberville and Alder Point, and 61 degrees for Shelter Cove. 67 for Smith River, 71 for Gas Key. There you can see Hoopa about 72, and it's mainly Thursday that we got that better chance for those showers coming in through Saturday, drying out most likely by Sunday. There's Wairika at 68, 69 degrees for Mount Shasta City. Now, as I mentioned, I would say that somewhere mainly east of I-5 and east of Highway 97 is where you got that best chance for any shower or even thunderstorm activity this evening and tonight. But, we can't rule out that slight chance going into Mount Shasta or McLeod or Tenon or McDowell or even Doris, but I think most of it will be off to the east here. Now, speaking of off to the east, now we're in Modoc County, and that's why I've got that chance for showers. Maybe some thunderstorms this evening and overnight. Otherwise, temperatures today are going to be the mid to upper 60s and dry today. But again, by this evening and tonight, that will change over to scattered showers. Eastern mountains, you've got dry conditions here, but as we head off to the north and east, there is going to be that slight chance for a stray shower. But otherwise, I think the rest of us will be dry out there today. And then for the mountains, including the eastern mountains, Wednesday through Sunday, off and on chances for showers and thunderstorms. Now for the valley, you've got temperatures in the low 80s. Looking at your 7-day forecast for Chico, yeah, I've now included Chico even on Friday with a chance for showers here, but I think the better chances will be on Saturday with temperatures dropping down the upper 60s. Low 70s by Sunday and dry and sunny, back up to about 80 degrees by next Monday. We take you up to the north, 83 degrees for Redding and Anderson, 82 for Cottonwood, 78 degrees for Lakehead and Whiskeytown, about 77 degrees. And looking at your 7-day forecast for Redding, Earth Day is today, so plant a tree. Do something for the earth. Let's be good to it, shall we? This is our only home. There you can see temperatures are in the mid-60s by Friday, Saturday, with that chance for showers. Maybe even an isolated thunderstorm Friday and Saturday, drying out and warming back up by Sunday and Monday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.
This May, get active with the Shasta Bike Month and Challenge. For both beginner and experienced cyclists, you can ride anywhere, anytime during the month of May. Whether it's to work, the store, or a leisurely spin on a trail, every ride counts. Join the challenge and log your rides with the Love to Ride platform. Compete as a team of coworkers, friends, or family. Every bike ride you take earns you chances to win local prizes. Sign up today at ShastaBikeChallenge.org.